I'm Marco,
I'm Stefan.
and we're with Hookah 402 in Omaha, Nebraska. We are doing a review on one of my favorite flavors of all time from the best brand in the UAE, Fakher. Fakher's rose is super complex, and we're about to go into the inhale. Stefan, lead it off.
Inhale is very nuanced. It's a little on the airy side, a little on the faint side, but you definitely get a detectable sweetness and a detectable taste. And that taste is, guessed it, rose.
Airy, yes, but I think if you've ever had rose water or used rose water, I think that's more the script for this flavor, because it's, watered down rose. It's not super prominent on the inhale, and so that's what you get: rose water with some, like Seven said, detectable
A
sweetness.
little faint. Really, though, where this flavor shines and why it is one of my all-time top 3 mixes for shishas is the exhale. So much body, so many layers, so much complexity. There's so much to explore in this flavor. I think you get a lot of earth. I think you get a lot of rounded sweetness, and you get a ton of floral notes. It's almost overwhelming when you smoke it straight off, just by itself, because it's really hard to peel apart the different flavors. We were discussing it earlier, and yeah, I get a rind type taste, I get a greenish tobacco type taste, and the nut of the flavor is floral, potpourri, something. It's hard for me to really say for sure this is rose on the exhale, but that's kind of what I'm getting. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think the exhale through the mouth tastes just like when you're buying a rose for your lady. You go to the floral shop. You know the rose that's going to last the longest is in the cooler. You grab it out. You smell it. That's it. Straight out of the cooler. I think spring, lightly spritz. You just spritz your flowers so they look nice. They smell nice. That's what I get. And although, like Seven said, the rose, when you think rose, it's like chewing on a rose petal, but that's almost faint. Seven's right. It is earthy in its girth. It has that depth in the lightness on the exhale.
I almost get a sense of moss too, like that spring. It's really nice. It's hard. We're using words that don't sound appetizing. Don't be mistaken. This is a delicious flavor. So good, and a lot of the complexity comes because through the mouth, it's very different than in the nose. When you're exhaling in the nose, out of the nose, it progresses. It starts light, and then you have those earthy, mossy, green tobacco flavors. Hints of spice that is just really native to flowers. You get spice in jasmine, you get spice in roses, but as it progresses, it darkens and it gets very pure rose at the very end of the exhale in the nose. It's just straight up, you're in a rose garden at Gage Park. It's really good. The aftertaste is phenomenal.
Oh.
It's delicious. First of all, the staying power is right there, and it's just this is where the aromatics really come in. It's super pleasant, man. I don't know what else to tell you other than it's just an ongoing subtle sweetness on the undertone, and then on top is a very round rose.
Yeah, you have to dig to the root of it. You dig through the earth, you dig through the natural spices, and you get to that rose eventually. And that's what's so beautiful about it, the progression, I think. So,
Mark, I have a question.
I'm a little scared.
Well, a wise man told me that every rose has its thorn. We've only been talking about positives on this flavor. Negatives?
Any negatives? It's one of my favorite flavors of all time. I love floral flavors. I love getting slight tobacco notes. I love earthiness. I think it's the most complex.
These are more positives. I'm looking for the thorn. Every rose has it.
The thorn is, like I said, through the mouth. I feel like it's a little, like rose water, which is like, you could say for most shishas, you would say it's a little airy, and I think most of the flavor comes in and then exhale through the nose. I think the recipe changed a lot once Fakher rebranded to be a lot more beautiful, and they started actually showing roses on their marketing or their branding, and they actually started showing like fruits on their branding. They made it lighter. It used to be punch you in the face, freaking rose, like, oh god, I don't know if I want to smoke this by myself.
And that's a lot more accessible.
Yeah, and that's a lot more accessible, and I think it's great. I love it. It's definitely more of like a session smoke. It's definitely more of like I can be full and still smoke it.
It's amazing. Clouds.
Clouds have always been good. You saw, as I was smoking, I wasn't even trying to like cover the whole camera, but you wouldn't see me, and you'd only see Stefan for a few moments.
We are smoking, by the way, on 3 fairly small coals on a small Dangerous Funnel bowl. But yeah, the clouds are classic.
Yeah, we've been smoking for about 30, 35 minutes, so the coals are a little smaller right now. In a pretty windy room before, so
buzz. It's definitely present in a sense, but
if you don't smoke, yeah. Nicotine's like non-existent in Fakher, which is fine sometimes, and it's definitely fine for those of you who don't smoke for a buzz or would rather stay away from nicotine. That's a positive.
Rating as a standalone flavor,
10.
Not as a mixer.
10. I love rose. I love it. Top 8 flavors. Probably makes number 7.
Wow. On your top 10?
Oh, yeah.
As a mixer, this is hands down one of the best mixers. If you haven't experimented with florals, mixing it with especially fruits, other florals.
Or mints.
Yeah.
If you're getting into it, that'll dilute some of the earthiness that you may not have.
And by the way, when you add it, it's going to add a lot of body to it, a lot of complexity, a lot of nuances, and it's not going to be necessarily detectable like, oh, there's rose in here. It's going to be like, wow, there is that little something extra.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as a standalone flavor, yeah, I give it like an 8.5, maybe a 9. I think it's definitely one of those smokes that's interesting enough that you're not going to get tired of it. It's in that sense, it's a lot like Double Apple for me, where it doesn't matter how often I smoke it, I'm still intrigued. I'm still interested. I still enjoy it. I love smoking rose. And for that, I give it a 9. So there you have it. All Fakher Rose. If you guys want to check it out this week, same deal as always, $12 in Lounge in Omaha, Nebraska. And with that, as always, guys, we love you.
We love you. Have a great night, guys.